I think I'm going to turn straight over to your joint presenter and we'll have questions again. But Mary, as always, an amazing start. Thank you so much. So now over to Jim Meadows.
There's a talent pool that we constantly overlook in terms of creativity, and that's the customer. More and more, we're giving influencers creative control over our projects, and so we should. They're world-class strategists and creatives, and we value that. We understand the value of their creativity. But with customers, we idiot-proof things. We give them a branded hashtag for the chance to be featured. We give them a mailing list under the guise of community and the dreaded NPS survey. And the truth is, we just don't see them in that way. We don't value their creativity, despite the fact they are so willing to participate. We've only got to look at TikTok to see people dancing up stairwells, pranking their mates, sharing their talents, and proving that you can create authentic content in a scaled environment. People are doing that no matter their age or physicality. Now, I think that Byron Sharp has somehow blinkered us to the notion to grow, we must concentrate all our efforts on reaching new audiences. And so we build audiences without looking at how to optimize and utilize them. And underneath that, we have this wealth of creative capital. And I think it's high time that we put our efforts into that and start to see advocates, not just as fans, but as people that can help spread our message in a very creative way. And I think doing that is essentially the future of content. I think it will help us, no doubt.
Jim, sorry, we have to be very strict. That was almost over. But Jim, Mary, thank you so much. We've got loads of questions coming in. Sorry to horn you both off, and to the whole audience, in case you didn't get the point, when people go over 99 seconds, they get horned off by my amazing air horn. So great presentations, both of you. And we've got loads of questions coming in. Let's try and get through some of them. I'm going to ask these and each of you can jump in. First question here is from Lydia, who says, do you think marketers are beginning to understand the value of influencers as experts on different platforms and audiences? And how will this help create better social campaigns? That's out to either of you.
Shall I answer that, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
I think they are slowly beginning to. I think most brands understand the importance of advocacy and actually being advocated by somebody who really knows what they're talking about and has followers clearly means that they've got very high engagement levels, and that's very important. So yes, I do think that's happening, but I think that just the numbers of people consuming social platforms and engaging in user-generated content is just so overwhelming now that if you look simply at the numbers, brands, advertisers cannot ignore what is happening in the world. TV just doesn't have the dominance that it once had. Do you want to add anything, Jim?
No, I think that's really clear. I think influencers are some of the most talented, creative people that we have. I think they're our creative future, and I think sometimes there's a blocker between kind of these grandiose agency budgets and actually being able to to work with them more creatively.
Fantastic. Okay, we've got so many questions coming in. And by the way, everyone, if we don't get to answer all of them, which of course we won't, we're going to try and answer some of these in a later date on New Digital Age. So I've got a question here from Scott, who says, again, out to both of you, are there any recent campaigns you've seen that you feel have adapted successfully to the current environment responding to the pandemic?
Over to you, Jim.
Yeah, for me, I think one of the best ads during the pandemic was KFC's return. To being back in business. And I love the fact that they showed that they were listening to what was going on with their customers and really put them at the front of it. It didn't dwell on the negative, it focused on the positive. And I think it's been really nice to see UGC appear in television advertising, including Virgin Media, my former employee, and all round good guys, and many others.
Fantastic. I've got a question here. We've got somebody coming in. I'm trying to get through them. But a question here, and Mary, it's directly to you. It's from Scarlett. She said, love the poem. Where did the inspiration come from in the first place?
I think that I am personally sick and tired of sales pitches that are not relevant to the moment that we're living through right now. We're at a really, really interesting juncture in history. And I think that, you know, the point around Black Lives Matter, about the, you know, it's Pride this month. I think the fact that there's been a lot of anger out there and frustration with our political leaders. You know, as an industry, I feel that it would be, you know, it's very remiss of us not to actually talk about this stuff and relate it back to our businesses. And, you know, by no means do we pretend to be perfect at Takumi, but we are doing everything within our power to actually address these issues and make change a reality. And I felt that a poem would be a good way of getting people's attention. And let's be honest, guys, I know how to get people's attention usually.
Yes, you do that, Mary. And Sophie's come in saying she wants to hear the end of the poem. So let's see if we can do it a bit later in the day, Mary. Sorry to cut you off, but you know the rules. I think we're going to say goodbye and thank you so much to Mary and Jim. Thanks for your contributions.